Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we got Combine promo. It's a huge promo, so we got a lot to go over. I'm gonna go over everything you guys need to know. I'm gonna go over the new cards, just everything in general. So let's get right into it. We're gonna start off with the new cards that drop. So we're gonna look at these LTDs. As you can see, they're pretty expensive, 4 mil just about. I did see one for 2.5 earlier. I probably should have grabbed it. I just didn't think they would keep going up, even though they were still in packs. But Michael Vick does get a very good stack. If you look at it, the ideal stack here, he does get pass lead for 3, which is something you do want to use here. And then you're going to use backyard QB for 0 with gunslinger. So that's a total of 4 AP right now. And then you do need conductor, which wherever it is. Here, so he gets conductor for 0. And then he also gets gift wrap for 1. So that's a total of 5 AP for the God stack on Michael Vick, which is something crazy. I think that's the overall best abilities you could use on him. If you want to use X Factor, you could use like Escape Artist or something, because lefties suck at rolling out the pocket. Maybe that'll help it. But this Michael Vick card is very much cracked. 5 AP for the God stack when most other quarterbacks get it for 10 to 11. So this Michael Vick card is as good as it looks. As you can see here, the speed drill boosts only this item. It gives it +1 speed. If you put another speed drill, it unlocks a boost for all QBs +1 excel. And that's for mostly every single card with these drill items. They have specific items that would boost them first, and then the next one be able to boost everybody. Now we're moving on to Malcolm Jenkins. Like I said, they're still this expensive. It's kind of crazy, but he's a stop and go drill item. You can see the boost here. If you put 1, he gets +1 agility. If you put in another, he gets the +1 agility, pursuit, and zone coverage. And then you go to his abilities. He does get a pretty good stack. If you go down here, you'd probably I was trying to lab up a stack that he could really get here. Does get a ton, as you can see. He gets these 2 Big Dawn. All the Big Dawn abilities for all the cards are always going to be 0, so you don't got to worry about paying for them. So he has mid zone for 1 no matter what. So I'm going to see if we could juice him out real quick. Reinforcement for 1, we're doing it. Then we'll do avalanche for 2. Okay, so that's 3 AP. And then we're going to do, I guess, mid zone for 1. That's 4 AP. If you wanted to juice them out, this is what you would do. And then down here, you could do pick artist down here, and then deep in. So that's a lot of AP on your safety, but that's a really juiced out card. Reinforcement, if you didn't know, is KOs, but you don't have the reaction time, so that's why I gave us the mid zone, and we got reactions now. He doesn't, like, it'll KO if he's in the area, but if you don't have mid zone, he won't react to passes being thrown. So Malcolm Jenkins, very good card. Is an Eagle, but all these cards are very expensive. I'm hoping they drop on Saturday when the next drop comes out. Now we have Dontari Poe, as you can see, 3.5, something like that. He gets Power Drill for +1 strength, and then he gives this to defensive tackles. Stats are pretty solid. I don't have no problems. He gets some decent theme teams. Cowboys is probably the best. Go to abilities. He is kind of cracked out. He does get Colossus for 2 AP as an X Factor, I believe, which is something I would be using. Colossus for 2 AP. That's something I'm going to be using for sure if I do buy him. And then also another one that is a must is this inside stuff for 0. If you want to go crazy, put avalanche. Remember, you have to be going downhill for avalanche to work. So you can do inside stuff, avalanche, secure tackler for, 1 AP already. And then there's a bunch of, there's like unfakeable here. Unpredictable, something decent. Just whatever you choose here, you can do. No outsiders is cool. Just make sure you run Colossus and the inside stuff for 0. That's the most important thing. The 0 APs are basically up to you at that point. And then we have Christian Watson here. The best receiver in the game. That's all I have to say. Best receiver in the game. He dethroned Randy Moss. Randy Moss had less than a week to be the best receiver in the game. And the reason I say that is because he gets double me and rack 'em up X Factors as abilities for only 2 AP. And that's the only thing you need. You don't need anything else. He does get a couple zeros, so you can do whatever you want with them. Because he gets double me and rack 'em up. I I heard double me works over KOs already this year, so this Christian Watson card is cracked, and his price shows that. Now moving on to the regular champs, this is Amari Barno. He ran like a 4.36 40 or something, and then they gave him this combine card. As a pass rusher, he has 97 speed, 98 excel. This card is very, very cracked. I was even thinking about this being a user. This is actually like a crazy card. Like, think about him being a user. It's definitely possible here. Lurk Artist Avalanche as a user. This is more than possible. But then you could also send him as a pass rusher if you wanted to do that. Lurk Artist Avalanche, and you can pay for mid zone, I believe. I don't think he gets mid zone for 0. If he did, that would be crazy. Yeah, he doesn't get mid zone at all. So he's kind of more of an edge rusher, it seems like, unless he gets an X factor. That's kind of crazy, but you could technically make this dude an edge rusher and a user. Maybe he gets a good X factor here. Reinforcement might be all you need. It's technically a KO. So if you really wanted to user Amari Barno, you technically could with Avalanche. It's kind of crazy. I think more people are going to start to use Avalanches. So prepare with that. Prepare like putting tank on your players, so you guys don't fumble every play. Now we got this Kurt Benkert. You get it from the head-to-head challenge, and it is also if you you get it from the welcome pack, and you can upgrade him with training. He gets all team chems. As you can see, his stats are okay, nothing too crazy. Does get a decent stack. As you can see here, Gunslinger here. You want backyard QB here, so that's 2 AP. And then he does get a third bucket, and you would want to do pass lead here. So you get the stack. So 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, and then you want conductor, which he does not get, unfortunately, in gift wrap. But his stack is pretty good. What's his animation? Over the top 1. I honestly don't know who has over the top 1. So let me know if you're using him. Tell me how good he is. But he's going to be a solid card for free. Now we have Evan Ingram. These champs are actually getting really cheap. Acrobat, jumping, jump, spec catch. 96 speed, 98 excel. This card's going to be very good. I'm just scared because I think, like, I'm almost 100% sure there's a Vernon Davis coming out next drop. So I'm not buying this card on my own. For my team, as you can see, he gets these 2 baked on abilities. He does get a bunch of good stuff. Like, this tank isn't the worst either. You can go mid elite 2 here. He does get rack 'em up. I'm kind of not too fond of rack 'em up. I prefer double me or yak 'em up or something like that. But tank, mid elite, that's pretty much all that matters to me. I don't really care too much about X factors on my tight end. But this Evan Ingram is a solid card if you do want to use him. Now we're going over Kyle Long. I personally think he's the best in the game. He gets these 2 built on. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at his buckets, he gets Vanguard for 1 AP. And you put like Pass Protector. And then he's going to be cracked out. This is the best guard in the game, without a doubt. Kyle Long. He should be on everybody's team if you don't have him. This Kyle Long is just too good. Now moving on to Doug Martin. I was a bit skeptical of this card. He's cool. I mean, Leapfrog Jukebox built on. I don't really run with AP, too much AP on my running backs. I just hope they get tank discounted, which is something he does do. I'd probably go like tank, maybe Energizer or something like that, just so I don't get my running back red every time he runs the ball. He does get second wind here, or persistent. So that means if he has an X factor, it would be nice. He does get freight train. So that might be looking into something you want to do. So freight train with persistent, you get an extra play. So that's a combination you might see. This Doug Martin's pretty good. It's just his teams are kind of iffy. Now moving on to Pat Pete. As you can see here, 97 speed, 96 excel. This card is one of the best corners in the game. He's probably like 1, 2, or 3, like one of them, depending who you want to argue. I think Dion is 1. But number 2 and number 3, you could put him in this conversation. As you can see, I'd probably put mid zone here, deep out here, pick artist here, and then you could honestly, well, actually, you could go mid zone, deep out, secure, pick artist, and then any of these random 0 AP abilities that you want. And he gets flat zone too, so you can put flat zone on him too for 0. This Patrick Peterson card is cracked, and if you have a God Squad, he should be on your team. So there's a lot of cards that came out today, and I'm just going to go over these 93s pretty quick. All these 93s get all team chems ×2. So Luther Burden can have Bears ×2 or Steelers ×2. They all get ×2, and they all get decent buckets. I believe they get 1 or 2 discounted buckets, as you can see here. They don't get nothing crazy. I'm just going to tell you whose cards I think are worth if you guys do get a card. I think a Mecha Ibuka is for sure worth it. 96 speed, can get all team chems ×2. So you could get potentially a Mecha Ibuka to 99 speed without really trying. Same situation for Ashton Denty and Will Johnson. These are the top 3 in my opinion. These guys are very good. Quinshaw, Judkins, and Burden are like another tier down from them. Colson Loveland, I wouldn't really go after, honestly. There's a couple 94 overall tight ends that are around his price. If you want the ×2 chem, you can do it, but you can get tight ends faster than him around this price. James Pierce Jr., very good card, 93 speed as a pass rusher. Depends what you want to run on him. If you're not running anything on him, you could get better AP-wise, but most of these cards can play on a lot of people's teams. This Xavier Watts card is another really good card. You just want to look at his abilities and stuff. Make sure he gets the good KOs like mid-zone, deep end zone for 2 AP. That's a pretty good stack. And then Michael Williams, probably the better edge rusher between him and James Pierce. If you look at his abilities, it's probably going to be the exact same. But they do get 2 discounted abilities, which makes all these cards usable. Like I said, I think the top 3 is Ibuka, Ashton Denty, and Will Johnson. And then, like a tier down, I'd probably go Michael, Watts, and Burden, and Judkins. And then the bottom tier might be Loveland, Pierce, and Walker. Walker is good, but if he was 95 speed, he would definitely be in like the S tier with the Genty and stuff, but he's not. Now we're moving over to the solos. As you can see here, they came out with Combine solos. I did get mine done. There's only 4 that's out right now. I believe on Saturday we're going to get the rest of them. If you see the rewards here, 95 overall B&D Extreme Combine Challenge player. We don't know who it is yet, but I believe we're going to be able to attain him on Saturday for the last drop. He's probably going to be good, but these solos are probably going to get really difficult. They were really difficult last year. They were quite annoying, but it was a Darren McFadden last year, and the card was pretty decent, so if you want to grind from him, you can. A free 95 never hurts, but the challenges were somewhat difficult. Now, we do have a Combine Field Pass. As you can see, there's sets, stuff for stats, and stuff for winning the games and head-to-head or anything like that. Nothing too crazy here. The 10K training is kind of crazy. And then you get the ability upgrade token. These are really hard to come by. I recommend getting this as soon as you can. The ability upgrade token, so it's for those +1 speeds and stuff like that on those certain players. So like how Vic can give +1 speed to all quarterbacks, which is nothing. But Patrick Peterson, I guess, is a better example. If you put 2 tokens on him, he'd give +1 speed to all corners, which is kind of crazy. I recommend going for another token as soon as you can. So if you have one, go grab another one quick. Get it on one of those players like Pat Pete or someone that gives +1 speed to everybody. A lot of people have been bashing EA today about it because there's only like one way, maybe 2 ways to get a free one. Well, actually, yeah, this is one way, and then on Saturday they said they would come out one for training. I'd recommend getting both. And the other way you could get tokens is by paying money, and I kind of don't like that. A lot of people don't like it. I wish there was a way we could get like at least 4 the free way, make us grind for it. But that's the rewards and stuff. Make sure you guys get this ability upgrade token fantasy pack. As you see, we got a lot of bundles here that dropped today. I was surprised EA dropped so many bundles because they usually been dropping like 1 and then the $100 bundle and that's it. But they did come out with 2 reduxes, which means all the 95s are reduxed. It seems like these packs were actually somewhat decent because the 95 Redux market did crash. Like Khalil Shakur, he went from like 500k to 300. Like those are big drops for cards like that. Darius Slay is like at 600k now. There's a lot of cards like that that have dropped a ton just because of these two packs. I think it's this one specifically that's making them drop. This pack is pretty decent, but I think this is the pack that's making them drop. And they dropped so many cards for Combine. There's a lot of these Combine cards that are good, guys. And they're affordable too. So those 93s I was telling you about, you can really go get them, and they'll definitely help out your team. They do get discounted abilities just like every other card. The 2x chem would help you out tremendously with your theme teams if you guys are running them. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.